Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my Week 3 previews and analysis. This video is for the game between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Green Bay Packers, which I think is going to be one of the highlight games of the week here in Week 3. You have the Packers traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. The Bengals coming off of a Monday Night Football win at home versus the Steelers, and the Packers coming off a home win as well. They just thrashed the hapless right now Washington Redskins, getting out to a 31-0 lead at one point in that game. And you saw Rodgers throw for 480 yards. You saw him getting Jordy Nelson, Jermichael Finley, Randall Cobb involved, James Jones as well. He still has a plethora of weapons. And look, the thing that stood out last week, of course, was James Starks rushing for over 100 yards. Look for him to get a lion's share of the carries this week. I don't like the running game of the Packers this week, specifically against a Cincinnati defense, which I consider to be a top 3 defense in the NFL. So I don't look for them to really be able to establish the run like they did last week. Sure, Aaron Rodgers will get his yards, but how is that Packers offensive line able to protect him? He was still sacked 4 times last week, even though, like I said, he did throw for those 480 yards. But now they're going to play against a significantly better team this week on both sides of the ball, in my opinion, than they did last week. And how does that defense match up against the 2 tight ends that the Bengals have, as well as, a faster back there in a Gio Bernard who looks to get more involved. And, of course, you have the ever problem of trying to cover A.J. Green as well. So how does that Packers defense respond, I think, is a big part to this, and that offensive line as well, which is always a question mark. It seems like we talk about every year with the Packers. And the Bengals, look, the Bengals aren't without their problems either. Can Andy Dalton match Aaron Rodgers throw for throw here if the game gets into a shootout situation? How do they, on defense, how do they match up with Green Bay's 3-4 wide receiver looks that they use a lot of times? There are some questions on both sides of the ball. I really like this Cincinnati defense, though, to rise to the occasion. They haven't let up more than 20 points at home here in a while. I think it's like 5 or 6 games they've let up 20 or less points at home. I think this will be a game where both teams will at least be in the mid-20s. And to be honest, I like the Cincinnati defense to make a big stop late a lot more than I like the Green Bay defense. And I think that this is going to be the week where Cincinnati's defensive line sort of gets back to doing what they did last year and really getting after the quarterback, which way they were one of the top sack teams in the league last year. So I like Cincinnati, okay, plus 2.5 at home versus the Packers. Again, I think this is going to be the game of the week in the NFL when it all comes down. A lot of young stars, the best quarterback in the league versus, a young up-and-coming team. I like this game a lot. Bengals Bengals plus 2.5. Let me know what you guys think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. Guys, be sure to subscribe. I preview every game every week. Hit me on Twitter as well. Join the conversation here, guys. Thanks again for listening, and have a great night.